Confusion really, clearly in the way that this new law was set up in the first place, because it has led to some inequalities according to the National Police Chiefs Council, and that's why they have had to take the step now of writing to forces right across the country to say do not use fixed penalty notices again for this £10,000 fine, and instead go to a system of introducing court summonses. They've issued a statement just within the last few minutes to us. They say that on Friday the 13th of November we advised all forces to temporarily take enforcement steps by way of summons rather than by issuing a fixed penalty notice to the value of £10,000 for offences relating to gatherings of over 30 people under COVID regulations. It goes on to say, we gave this advice of a potential disparity between those who opt to pay by the fixed penalty notice and those who see their case reach court, where the fixed penalty notice would be means tested against personal income. So in plain English, effectively what's happening is that those who are being issued with this fixed penalty notice for £10,000, a significant number of these people are perfectly understandably deciding that they want to appeal this very hefty fine. Now, in appealing it, it goes through the court process, and then of course it's up to a magistrate in court looking at all of the issues here, defendant, their background, their means, how much income they have coming in, etc., can decide that £10,000 of a fixed penalty is just too much for this person to pay, and either reduce the fine or give them a longer period of time in which to pay that £10,000 fine. So clearly pretty embarrassing for the government. The reason that this fixed penalty notice of up to £10,000 was introduced in the first place was to give the police more powers to tackle what was a growing, and it still is, an emerging problem during lockdown, which is these organised events, mass gatherings, raves and other street and parties that are taking place with people of more than 30 in number gathering. It gives the police then an option to hand out pretty hefty fines for those organisers as a means of deterring them from doing that kind of activity. But now it seems that, certainly according to the National Police Chiefs Council, it's not at all clear the way in which this fixed penalty notice system is operating. So they're saying suspend it, don't issue any more fixed penalties. You can still go through the process, but you have to do it by means of a court summons instead. In the meantime, the National Police Chiefs Council is urgently trying to address the matter with the Home Office with a view to coming up with a more permanent fix to this. It may be that going forward we see a system whereby the fixed penalty is noticed, but it's made very clear to a person receiving that fine that they can appeal through the courts process. That might be a way forward to do this in proper legislation, but it's obviously embarrassing. As I say, this was a key plank of law enforcement going forward as we entered this second lockdown, to give law enforcement authorities an option to clamp down on these mass gatherings.